Another set of sponges to add to my 1,000,000 billion sponge collection. Hey guys, it's V. So today, as you may know from the title, I'm doing a demo and review of the 2 new sponges from L'Oreal. Now, they did come out with 3 new sponges, but one of them looked like this. It is a like sculpting and such kind of sponge, and I just don't use those kind of sponges. The shape of it didn't really, you know, appeal to me, so I got oh, I lost my voice. What just happened there? So I got these 2 sponges, this one being the foundation blender and this one being the concealer blender sponge. So they were $7.99, I believe. Let me make sure. So both of these sponges were $7.99 on Amazon, and I have Prime shipping, so they were both free shipping for me. But if you don't, I think it's still probably free shipping. I don't really know. But yeah, I got them off of Amazon. They'll probably be available in stores soon enough, but I personally know right at this moment that I'm filming this that Amazon is the only place you can get them. So yeah, if you want to see how these sponges work, I'm gonna get into that demo right now. Okay, are you guys ready to test out these sponges? Because I know I'm definitely ready to test them out. So I'm just going to go ahead and open the foundation one first. So let's see. I like the packaging. I like the way that they packaged this because it has a little like indent for the actual sponge to sit in, rather than kind of having like a ring around the actual sponge and kind of deforming it. So it actually is not deformed at all, which is amazing. This one really reminds me, what's the word? Shape-wise, like the Morphe Flawless Blending Sponge, which honestly I wasn't a big fan of, but I'm not gonna hold that against this one. It may be better. Honestly, it was the texture of the Morphe one I didn't like, not the shape. So it feels really squishy. It feels promising. So let's see what it says on here. Apply a small amount of foundation onto blender. Bounce all over the face until desired coverage is achieved. Washable with gentle soap and water. Squeeze out excess water and store in a cool, dry place. Okay, so it says to apply foundation onto the blender, which I usually don't do. It's funny because it doesn't actually say to wet it, but I am going to, because using a dry sponge is not as easy as using a wet sponge. That's really funny that it doesn't say to wet it beforehand, but I definitely need to. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wet the sponge. So I'm gonna show you guys that this is what it looks like now, and this is what it looks like completely wet, and I have squeezed out pretty much all of the excess water. So definitely got quite a bit bigger. This thing soaks up a lot of water up into it, like while you're kind of, before you wring it out to dry, it can hold a lot of water. So it feels really nice and squishy. I'm kind of excited to put this on my face. I did get my Real Technique sponge wet, and I have that with us just in case this is a disaster, but we will see. I'm gonna go ahead and use a new foundation today. Just kidding. Y'all know I'm using the Revlon Color Stay for normal to dry skin and ivory because that's all I use, because I just love it so much. So I'm gonna do what it said, and I'm going to put it right on the blender to start out. So that's new for me. I do already have primer on. I use the Cover FX Illuminating Primer that I got in my Play by Sephora box. And so yeah, we just got a little dot of product on here. So let's see how this blends out. I do usually use 2 pumps of the Revlon Color Stay foundation, so that was just 1 pump, and it looked like it's blending really nicely, you guys. This is super soft on my face. I don't feel like it's like pounding my face or anything like that. It actually seems like it's working really well, and it doesn't look like it soaked up a whole lot of the product. Because like I said, I do normally do 2 pumps, so this is pretty much covered that half of my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and get another pump on my little, I'm gonna go ahead and get another pump on my sponge here, and I'm gonna do the other side of my face. This is super weird for me though, not putting it on my face first. I'm putting it on the sponge first. I usually like dot it all around my face and then put it, and then use the sponge to kind of blend it out. But this is actually working really well. I just got that all over my lips. I will say it's kind of hard to get into the little dips of the nose. I may have to try and use that little tip, but even so, I feel like that one might be kind of hard to get into my little nose dips there. But y'all, if I'm being 100% honest, that looks really good to me. It blended it out really, really nicely, evenly. Don't feel like it soaked anything up. I am having some breakouts right now, so the Revlon Color Stay can't really cover it all completely, but that really didn't do bad at all. I don't feel like I had to work any harder than I do with a normal beauty blender because I do own one of those. I honestly really like this actually so far. I feel like it's really big. It's bigger than a beauty blender on the flat side, so I feel like it actually really blended it out well and quickly, to me a little bit quicker than my beauty blender actually blends it out. So so far kind of loving this. So let's move on to the Blend Artist concealer blender, but first I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows, so give me a second because I have a very odd order in the way that I do things. Okay, brows and everything are on, so let's move on to this concealer sponge. I'm gonna take it out of packaging. Again, it has the same packaging where it kind of sits in a little plastic thing here. I very much so appreciate that. So this one has a very odd shape. I don't think I've ever seen this kind of shape before, but you've got kind of a tilted side here, and then you've also got a very flat end here. So it's definitely going to be interesting. So this is what it looks like dry. I'm going to go ahead and wet it real quick, and then I will be back. Okay, so wet, this is what it looks like. It definitely grew a little bit in size. It is super squishy. I really love the color of this one. It's that bright aqua blue, super pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this one to blend out my under eye concealer. I have got the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair, which is my holy grail. I actually just ordered a new one today, but I got Fair Neutral because I wanted to try something different. But I'm just gonna put this on my under eyes real quick, and then we're gonna use the sponge to blend it out. What did Blake call this? My super crazy angel wing mode? Something like that. He's crazy. I also like to put some on my nose because it gives me a lot of extra coverage there because my nose tends to get really red for some reason. So I always put some there too. All right, let's see what this puppy can do. I really like that it has a nice point on it. So I feel like, yeah, you can really get into that inner corner really nicely. Let's see. I don't feel like this one retains as much moisture. Maybe that's just me being crazy, but I feel like it doesn't retain as much moisture as the pink one did, but it retained enough moisture to blend that out pretty flawlessly, so I don't think that it is any kind of problem. Let's keep blending real quick. Yeah, that blended out really nicely. I'm not really sure what you'd use this really flat edge for, but I'm gonna use it here to blend out the nose. Let's see what we've got. The Shape Tape sets so fast, so you really have to work quick with it. I don't really like that. I feel like you can kind of see the edges, so I'm gonna go back in with one of the rounder sides. Yeah, that side just doesn't work too well with this concealer. I don't really know. Let me know what you guys would use this super flat edge for. I don't know, maybe baking. Maybe I'll try that. I am gonna put some powder on my under eyes with this as well. But I think I like the rounder sides because you can't see any kind of line. But other than that, that blended that out super well. I'm gonna try and cover up this little scab that I have down here. And I'm just gonna put some right in the center of my face right here. Maybe that'll work right here. Let's see. Oh yeah, it works pretty well right there because there's not really a place for you to see any kind of lines. So that did a pretty good job. Let's see, let's use this part right here to blend out the chin. I feel like the edges you can kind of see. Can you guys see that there? I feel like you can see where the edges are hitting it. So I think it's better to use the more rounded side. Of course, this one doesn't have any edges on it, so I didn't have that problem, but it's a slight bit firmer to me. So with those edges, you can just kind of see them a little bit too much when you're blending. I missed a little bit of my under eye there with the concealer, so I'm just gonna blend that out real quick. I gotta say, you guys, honestly, I'm not really feeling this one as much as I was feeling this one. Like, feeling the textures of them both right here, this one definitely feels firmer to me than this one does, which is weird. But I'm gonna go ahead and take some RCMA No Color powder. I have it inside this little container here, and I'm just going to dab my sponge in here and try to use that to set the under eye. It's a nice size. Like, I'm not like, I don't hate it, but I don't think I would grab for it. I just don't really think that it works as well as, like, I have the Beauty Blusher. I feel like that one works a lot better. It's much softer than this one is. Let's go ahead. I feel like it's doing a good job of baking, though. It's really holding a lot of product, so that's nice. Just kind of lightly setting everywhere else that I had concealer. Okay, so you guys can kind of see there what it looks like. I think that this one is okay, but personally I don't like it as much as some of my other smaller sponges that I have, so I don't think that I would go for this one again. Just off of like what I'm seeing with this demo, it's just not as soft as the other one is, which is so weird. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup real quick, and I will come back with you guys with my final thoughts. So, and ta-da! Makeup is finally on, and I will give y'all my final thoughts on these sponges. So I would have to say, go for the pink, don't go for the blue, because this one is so soft and so squishy and I really love it, but this one is just not the same. It's just not the same. I don't know if it's because it has harsh edges on it or what, but I just don't like this one, and I really do like this one a lot. Okay, who's texting me? But yeah, so final thoughts. I totally think the pink one is worth it. It's only $8. I totally recommend it. I think if you're looking for a good drugstore sponge, this one is definitely very good. In terms of its softness compared to the Real Technique sponge, feeling them both. Let me just have a little bit of some sensory going on right now. They feel pretty close, you guys. I mean, they feel pretty squishy on both ends of the spectrum. If you want to look at kind of like the texture of both of them, they both look very similar in texture. So, I mean, I gotta say, y'all, I really do like this one. Do I think that it's better than the Real Technique sponge? No, I don't think that. And the Real Technique sponge is cheaper, so you know, if you want to go with the Real Technique sponge, then do that. But this one definitely has a different shape than the Real Technique sponge, so if you find that you don't really love this shape, try this one out. I love how huge this one is on the bottom, because it just really like went right around my face so quick, so I really do love that about it. So I totally recommend this one, and I think that y'all should pick it up, but just pass on the blue one. I just chucked it across the room, but just pass on the blue one. I don't think that one's worth it, especially since it is the same price as this one and it's much smaller. I don't really understand that logic there. It is a smaller product. I would think it would be a little bit cheaper, but what do I know? I just don't really like it. So that is my opinion, and if this video was helpful for you guys, definitely show some love to the like button down there. I so would appreciate it. It means that more people get to see this video, so it's totally super helpful for me. And if you subscribe, you can be a member of my Muse family, and I love you guys so much. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys!